Take 1,000. Alright. This is my friend John once again, and we're continuing our reviews on the Hammer Frankenstein... Not Frankenstein. Take 1001.
Get it right.
Okay. We're continuing our reviews on the Hammer Dracula series. I got it right this time. With,
Sorry, man.
We're continuing our reviews on the Hammer Dracula series with Scars of Dracula, which I have on VHS. Now, Scars of Dracula is the 6th film of the Hammer Dracula series, and it's considered to be kind of a reboot of the series. Actually, when this came out, it was, I think, released on a double bill with Horror of Frankenstein, which was a reboot of the Hammer Frankenstein series, but that movie I actually would consider a reboot. This movie, on the other hand, honestly, I'm not really sure why they consider this a reboot, because it does kind of pick up where Taste the Blood of Dracula left off. Like, you could make an argument that this is in the same continuity as the previous few films.
I gotta agree. I mean, even though they say this is a reboot, it's really more really a sequel file. Maybe because it came out at the same time with like a double feature with horror. Maybe they were just like trying to promote and market the film as if it was going to be a reboot, I guess.
I mean, they definitely try to, with this one, they definitely try to up the violence a little bit, and definitely up the nudity a little bit in this one. But what did you think of this movie overall?
I liked it. It was better than I expected, because unlike Horror of Frankenstein, which I didn't care for, I thought this was going to be like the same format, like goofy.
Kind of like a horror comedy like that one was.
Yeah, but I ended up enjoying realizing, wow, it's actually more serious than I thought, and you're right, it's more violent and more brutal, and Dracula, oh my god.
Yeah, Dracula's definitely a dick in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, Christopher Lee's version of Dracula is honestly more of a dick than Bela Lugosi's version was. I mean, Bela Lugosi's version of Dracula was evil, but there were moments where he tried to be, like, nice to certain people. Christopher Lee's Dracula is just a freaking asshole throughout this entire series.
He's more ruthless than Lugosi.
So, the plot of Scars of Dracula is it begins where a bat, presumably possessed by Dracula's essence, pukes blood onto Dracula's remains, bringing the demonic vampire back to life. So, in the film, a young man named Paul is fleeing from the authorities after the burgomaster's daughter falsely accuses him of rape. So, while fleeing the authorities, Paul ends up at Dracula's castle and finds himself a prisoner there. So, Paul's brother Simon and their friend Sarah go looking for him, and they end up at Dracula's castle, and Dracula starts going after Sarah. Now, in the film, Christopher Lee reprises his role as Count Dracula, Dennis Waterman plays the character of Simon, Christopher Matthews plays Simon's brother Paul, Jenny Hanley plays the character of Sarah. Patrick Troughton, who people might recognize from The Omen, plays Dracula's familiar, Clove. Michael Ripper, who's been in several of these other Hammer films, plays a cowardly landlord. And Michael Glenn, who people might recognize from movies like The Revenge of Frankenstein and Village of the Damned, plays a priest who kind of becomes the Van Helsing stand-in. But what do you think of the characters in this movie?
They're alright. I mean, they're not my favorite characters of this series. They were just, okay, like, solid characters. Nothing I would say, like, the best.
Yeah, they're somewhat cliched. I think they're good for what it is. Like, I think they're good for what they are. For me, the most compelling character was actually Dracula's servant in the movie, Clove, who, interestingly, has the same name as Dracula's servant from Dracula, Prince of Darkness, but it's clearly not the same character. I thought Clove was a really interesting character where he does do some pretty evil things in the film, but you could tell he actually does care about the main girl in the movie, and he does try to do some noble things towards the end of the film.
When he, torched him, you'd, definitely, feel for him right there.
Another interesting character who is a real asshole throughout most of the movie, but you do find out that he kind of has his reasons for being an asshole, is the character of the Landlord, played by Michael Ripper. What do you think of that character?
He was a jerk, but I think it's because he was, afraid of, Dracula, like most, villagers who, you have people, come in there, where's the castle is? And it's I don't want nothing to do with this, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, And also, you do find out that his daughter, I think, was killed by Dracula a few years prior to this. Yes. So, yeah, again, you do feel for the guy, but at the same time, he had no reason to be such an asshole to the main characters of the film. No. And what you think, even though he's not really the main character, he's only in the beginning of the film, what do you think of the character of Paul? The, as you like to call him, the man slut.
That was alright. Again, it's, he was cliche and just, he was just, like, basically the setup for, like, when the brother and his girlfriend, like, go to save him and...
Yeah. I mean, he's what gets the plot moving along, but... Yeah, I can see what you're saying. He is somewhat of a cliched character.
Yeah. It's like, I've seen this already in, like, other films where it's like you have a guy who was a womanizing male slut.
I will say, though, even though the scene's played up as somewhat comedic... The scene in the beginning where the girl basically accuses him of rape, that is actually really fucked up.
It is, and that's...
I know it's played off for laughs in the movie, but in reality, that's a fucked up thing to do to somebody.
That scene when his girlfriend accuses him of rape, like the way like he's like running away, it's like something out of like the Benny Hill show.
Alright. So that was our review on Scars of Dracula. Our next review will be on Dracula AD, 1972.